Cormac. This is a short review of the lesson you had on September 11th of 2020. In this lesson, we spent most of the time on the jig, Glasgow Police Piper's jig. And your version of this music has highlights and various labels, and the ending phrases are encircled in red pencil, but it's the same music here, as you see here. And the whole purpose of this recording for Glasgow Police Piper's jig is to help you play part one with me, essentially. And I'm going to have the metronome on in the background. The metronome is set at the tempo that you played along with at your lesson. So you're going to hear it in the background, and that's what we're going to be following. It's not very fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count it out. So I want you to get your fingers ready in the low A position, right? Because the first triplet of the tune is a G, D, E triplet on low A. So you get ready, and I'm going to say, ready, 1, 2. And then the next beat, after the word 2, the next beat is the beginning of the tune where the G grace note finger comes down on that first triplet. So this is going to be something I'd like you to practice a lot this week. With the recording and without, to get accustomed to starting on a certain beat and then playing along with it. In this recording, I am going to play part one in this manner. So we'll turn the metronome on. What it's doing right now is what you saw in the lesson. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, like that. But those little tick marks in between are where the triplets come in. Okay, so ready? 1, 2. So what I did there was I played it through 2 times because you repeat the part. So I'd like you to practice with that as many times as you can. The next thing I'm going to do is getting a little bit ahead, but it's a part 2. And you may recall I showed you part 2 in the lesson to show you, number 1, how the ending phrase is repeated. It's exactly the same. The last 2 bars of part 2 of the music, of the tune, are identical to the last 2 bars in part 1. And so just by learning the ending phrase, you automatically learn 25% of the tune, which is great. But another thing that's really interesting or neat about part 2 is it's quite simple. It's a note, melody note, you might say, followed by 2 high A's, then another one, followed by 2 high A's, another one, followed by 2 high A's, etc. Okay? And this, when it's played on the Highland pipe, produces a staccato effect. The high A's blend in with the drones. Now, I'm going to play this with the metronome. You may or may not be comfortable doing that yet. If you're not comfortable doing that yet, you can do it on your own until you are comfortable. Also, you can lower the tempo that YouTube plays this recording at. You can actually slow it down if that helps. So we're going to do the same thing on part 2. So I'm going to say ready, 1, 2, and then start. Ready? 1, 2. So that's second part of Glasgow Police Piper's Jig. Have fun with that. Do as much of that with the recording as you can. The last thing that we discussed in the lesson yesterday was the rhythmic fingerwork book, exercise 3. And this is going to require that you take your time and read the notes, read the music, and know what the pattern is on this. And that is definitely something for you to do on your own before you play along with me. But I am going to play this. I'm going to play it to the same rhythm that you just heard for the jig, because this is also in 6/8 time, and it's 2 triplets per bar, just like the jig. We're going to do the entire exercise number 3, the top line of that paper. So, ready? 1, 2. Now I did not repeat that. It does have the repeat symbol at the end, and you can go ahead and do that on your own. Happy chantering!